I wonder if we really truly believe in the words that are contained in today's second reading, where St. Paul tells us, we know that all things work for good for those who love God. Do we truly believe that everything that we go through in life, especially painful moments that we go through crisis, when we don't know what to do, when we may feel lost, do we believe that those moments are meant to help us, to make us better, to grow in our faith? I couldn't help it but to think of that saying that I heard a while ago that goes something like this, that God writes straight with crooked lines. God writes straight with crooked lines. Let me tell you a story. So I read this story some time ago about this little girl who was originally from Sudan. She was outside with her sister when suddenly some men kidnapped her. They separated her from her family, from her country. She was taken far away to a different place, and she was sold as a slave. She had many owners, and she was abused physically, psychologically, and in so many different ways. And she was whipped so many times that it is said that as an adult, she had more than 100 scars all over her body. But something happened when she was an adult. She was sold as a slave to an Italian family, and that family was Catholic. They knew about the faith, and so this woman was in charge of taking care of the children in the house, and she would bring the children of this house to receive faith formation, to learn about God. And that is when she overheard about God. She had never heard about God before. And she became interested that there was a God that loved her. And she was so touched that she decided to inquire, to learn more about the faith. And little by little, she wanted to be baptized. And she received a baptism. But that was not enough for her, because eventually she wanted to become a religious sister. And so later in life, after, learning about the love of God, about the God that had always been with her, even in those very difficult moments in her life, she ended up becoming a nun. And they say that after she became a nun, she was so filled with joy. And she would talk to other people about forgiveness, about the importance of forgiving other people. That's what she did for the rest of her life, where she spent just loving people. And we all have been through difficult moments in life. And the thing is that when we go through difficult moments in life, we can either become bitter or we can become better. And I believe that it is only with the grace of God, when we are in touch with our own history, and when we invite the healing power of Christ to enter into those experiences, that's when our history can be redeemed, and our own history can become a source of healing for other people. You never know. Your story, my story, could offer hope and healing to somebody that may be going through the same situation. So at the end of her life, this nun, who is now a saint, Saint Joseph in Bakita, she said these words that I want to share with you. She said, If I were to meet the slave traders who kidnapped me and even those who tortured me, I would kneel and kiss their hands. For if that did not happen, I would not be a Christian and religious today. Again, our pain can make us bitter, or it can make us better, and it can make us more compassionate, more empathetic, where we show kindness to other people. But I think it all depends on how we see our own history, and if we really believe that God takes care of us. You know, if you ask me, I came to this country 25 years ago as a teenager. If you ask me, when I left my native country as a teenager, if I was thinking that I was gonna come here to study to become a priest, that I would be in Mountainside today, if you had asked me, if you had told me that 25 years ago, I would have said, you're crazy. Because it was not in my head. But see, God has orchestrated everything in my life. Even those moments when I have felt lost, when I haven't really seen how God has been acting in my own life, looking back, I can see how He was writing straight with crooked lines.